course we can. We know what they're capable of doing, but what I would like to see is if Australia are going to come out and they are going to press us high, I want to see what we're going to do, because the other day against Brazil, it didn't look good. I didn't think there was enough movement, so I'd like to see how we're going to combat and deal with that. Where's the movement coming from? Who's going to step up if Kira Walsh is being marked tightly? And then I want to see our forwards get on and do what they do, because we know what they're capable of.
All right, guys, we'll catch up with you three at half-time. In the meantime, teams are ready to come out for this one, so why don't we join our commentary team for this evening's match. Emma Hayes is alongside Seb Hutchinson.
Yes, thank you, Laura. 100 days to go until the big do down under. And what better preparation than England playing the party hosts. A familiar rivalry that could meet again in the summer. How much will tonight tell us about how any prospective meeting may play out? We're in West London. G-Tech Community Stadium, home of Brentford, but tonight, home of England fans. We're here to watch the Lionesses and hope they extend their unbeaten record. First up, the anthems. Australia and all the action after the break. Well, as you can see there, three of the England players, Lucy Bronze, Chloe Kelly and Kira Walsh, without the names on the back of their shirts, and three of the Australia players as well. In fact, one in three of their shirts, and this is to draw attention to the reality that one in three born in the UK today will develop dementia. Let's take a look at the England side with Alex Greenwood unavailable. It's Esme Morgan who takes the centre-back role for just her fourth cap. The only other change from the penalty win over Brazil sees Chloe Kelly start on the right in place of Lauren James. This is an Australia side missing experience and quality through injury, but they do bring in two Centurions after the defeat to Scotland. Tamika Yallop will look to negate Lucy Bronze, and Sam Kerr will look to do what she does so well, score goals. Charlotte Grant, another of those Australia players without the name on the back of their shirt. As I said before, the teams there, today's match has been dedicated to the Alzheimer's Society, the FA's official charity partner, raising vital funds to provide support to those devastated by dementia. And today, Three of the England players, three of the Australia players to represent the 1 in 3 born in the UK today who will develop dementia. That's 1 in 3 of us who could forget the name of our favourite player or football memory. One of those big memories was provided by Chloe Kelly last summer, and another last week against Brazil. A victory on penalties that extended Sarina Wiegman's unbeaten run in charge to 30 matches. So Australia fresh off defeat to Scotland, but don't read too much into that. This is a side that does have quality in it that will look to test England tonight, even with some big names missing. And the players take the knee, both sides taking the knee. The stand continues against all forms of discrimination. Well, away we go. If all goes to plan, England will meet Australia in the World Cup in the last Olympics. But what about now facing this England side? And the ball immediately out to Rasso, who's a quick presence down that side, looking up with Carter, Carpenter. Looking for an early free kick, but that's Jess Carter, Hayley Rasso, one of the many one-on-one battles we're looking forward to tonight. Emma, what sort of challenge will Australia pose this England side?
I think they'll be more direct than Brazil. I think the way they're lining up, it's in a 4-4-2, so Fowler in particular will come into the position Caitlin Ford's been playing in, and Australia will be very direct, going after the spaces behind England's fullbacks.
Tamika Yallop on that left-hand side for Australia, up against Lucy Bronze. Yallop, an experienced member of this Australian side that is missing a lot of experience. Here's Claire Hunt, who made her debut earlier this year. Carpenter, one of the star players in the Australia side. And Ellie Carpenter, a top fullback, one of the best in the world in that position, who was out for nearly a year with a knee injury, a common occurrence in the women's game.
Well, you wouldn't tell. I mean, she's come back in. She's already made a fantastic start for club. And now back in the national team. She'll be looking to bomb on that right-hand side with Rasso. And they'll provide the double whips for Australia. So it'll be an interesting battle between those two and Hemp and Carter.
And here is Bronze, who was the starter in the Lyon team at right back when Carpenter joined Lyon. There's May Morgan, the left side centre-back pairing. Manchester City centre-half to her club teammates. There's a few Manchester City players in the Australia side as well. Here's Stanway. Toon looking for a free kick. She's not going to get it. Hunt to Cooney Cross, a midfielder. Has made that position her own. And back to Arnold. Carter getting in tight there quickly. Here's Walsh. What sort of space will she get tonight after Brazil try to close that avenue?
I think for Walsh, you can see already she's looking to come a little lower, sometimes away from the two central strikers.
Carter. And on goes Hemp, and the ball in, and prodded towards goal by Russo. First combination down that left-hand side.
Well, first part of play with Walsh coming out into that false fullback position, allowing Carter to bomb on. It's a good first-time ball into the box from Hemp. Russo looks so alert.
Here's Arnold again, one of the significant WSL presence in this Australia side, even with the absentees as well. England applying the press. Yallop won't reach that. Chasing for that ball. Katrina Gorry there in the midfield, scored a stunning goal. The competition Australia won just before they lost to Scotland, actually. Invitational tournament held at home. Jamaica, Czech Republic and Spain. Fowler looking long to Kerr, and that might happen on a few occasions. How much support will Kerr get tonight? Yallop. Here is Fowler. To look out to. He plays it short to Cooney Cross. Pressure from Toon, but Cooney Cross, good break and strong play, getting out to Rasso. Looking to use the overlap, but Hemp is back there, sporting that protective mask after a blow to the face against Brazil.
Well, really patient play from Australia. Surprised a little by their start. They're looking to build. And already Gorey and Cooney Cross involved in the play, switching the play early, especially out on the right-hand side.
It's England looking to be patient now after that little burst from the Australians. Ball out to Hemp, and Hemp now on to Toon.
Rasso on the inside. Kerr just takes off a little too early.
And unlike the match against Brazil, no VAR, no goal line technology tonight. Here's Bronze. Williamson. Morgan. Losing the ball. And England might be a little bit short here with Gorry. Moving it wide to Rasso. Kerr on the move in the middle and Carter in the way. Rasso looking bright. Pacey player on that right-hand side, the Manchester City player. Mary Fowler, another of the City players in this Australia lineup. Grant linking up, and they've started confidently here, the Australians. Carter Gorry. Carpenter. And then just gets away from Mary Fowler, who along with Kerr scored in that match in Tokyo.
As you mentioned, very strong start from Australia. Gorry in particular in the middle of the park. Player I really admire. Looking to control the game for Australia. And they've confidently built out from the back. Something I wasn't necessarily expecting against this aggressive high press.
Is Gorry one of those experienced heads? Mentioned the players missing for Australia. Caitlin Ford, the principal one, having an excellent season for Arsenal in the WSL. Club teammate Steph Catley also unavailable. Alana Kennedy, the Manchester City defender, to pull out through injury. And Kia Simon, who wasn't expected to be in the squad. Loose pass from Keira Walsh, and Morgan couldn't get there, and here's Rasso with time. Rasso, shot blocked, and England get away with it. And of all the people to give it away for England.
Well, it's Australia's compact defending which is causing the problem. Australia really narrow in this 4-4-2, and there's not a lot of spaces between the lines. So any square ball will result in a turnover, much like the one we've just seen. It's a fantastic opportunity for Rasso.
Morgan pumping that long towards Hemp, and Carpenter across. To believe it was Keira Walsh who gave it away.
That's the square ball I'm talking about. Can't find the central pass. And really good play from Rasso. I think initially makes the right decision to delay. I think she had to look for something else once she'd delayed.
So a few things for Serena Wiegman to note for this start for England. Walsh. 2 complete passes from Keira Walsh in the space of a minute. And then Hunt slipping in the clearance. Rain very heavy indeed. Bronze did well. What can England do here with Stanway? You see the conditions already causing a bit of an issue. And Russo. Bronze. To try and switch that ball across to where Kelly is now on the left-hand side. Here's Chloe Kelly into Toon. Walsh. And looking for their passing fluency. These early stages. Morgan. And Russo's touch was heavy. Australia look the more composed of the two sides so far. Well, they do. England look sluggish in and out of possession. You can see not pressing the way perhaps we'd have expected from them. That's lost by Grant. Ball played out to her by Arnold. Here's Walsh. Hemp. Hemp going on, and almost pulling it back successfully for Russo. And Bronze. Here's Hemp again. Stanway. Hemp. Australia felt there was a foul there. Referee not interested. And Hemp crosses it in, and Arnold claims does very well. Certainly the best passage of play from England. Good combination play down that right-hand side. And Arnold having once again a solid season. West Ham United. As Rasso collects, but loses out. Good pressure from England. Stanway, Russo. Kelly won't get to that, but it will be a corner. Recovery from Carpenter. That's a bit more like it from England in terms of their pressure regains. Long ball into Rasso, turn over, and you could see 4 or 5 England bodies ready to pounce. Stanway to take this corner for England. Starting to get going. And get a chance to see what England look like without Bright and Daly from set pieces. They go short. And work to Walsh. And Walsh now will play it in. This is awkward for Arnold, but did very well, the goalkeeper. And maybe a counter here for Australia. There's an England player down, and the referee will call it back because of a head injury, although Australia wanted to break there. That's another great break from Cooney Cross. I've been so impressed every time I watch this player. He's come in, taking a place in the Australia team. Here's the ball into the box. It's authoritative from Arnold. Just catches Russo. Well, the referee tonight from the United States, Natalie Simon, overseeing this one. American officials for this one. But who will be considered the favourites for the World Cup? Is it the US or is it England? Big question. With Mallory Swanson unavailable, I think US are going to have to find some other options. But what I have seen in these two games, Brazil and Australia, two very well organised teams out of possession. Very compact, making it difficult for England to settle. And of course you're going to have to concede possession somewhere. Australia happy to block up the centre of the pitch, but play with double width so they don't allow England to get on top in the wide areas. Russo back on the pitch. Gorry, look at that for a little ball in towards Fowler, but Kelly is there for England. One Walsh, again pressured. Something England really have to get used to. And I mentioned USA being favourites, but Tony Gustafsson, former assistant to Jill Ellis, the former US manager, won 2 World Cups. Cooney Cross almost losing the ball. There's Cooney Cross again. Looking towards Kerr. Already this Australia side, even though they are missing those players, they're a team that seems comfortable in their shape and personnel.
I think they've found the shape that works for them. As you mentioned, there's been a lot of experimentation in the past 12 months. There's had to be a development of younger players.
By the way, if you wanted a visual indication of the conditions, just having a dry down, Tony Gustafsson. Here's Walsh. Williamson. And Bronze very far forward, as we're used to seeing her in an England shirt over so many years. Gorry, this could be awkward. And to get there. Horn in the way for Australia. Here's Grant. Bit of room to run into, and Hemp tracking her back. Hemp just getting enough of a foot in as well. And the winger forced to do the defensive work with Bronze up the pitch.
Certainly a fearless start from Australia, taking the game to England. They lack the quality so far in the final third. I think been very balanced in the way they've set out.
As we've said so many times under this brilliant run under Serena Wiegmann, we don't mind seeing them tested too much in these sort of situations, especially in friendly matches like this. Carter, Toon. Also a test for Australia, the co-hosts of the upcoming World Cup. Bronze. Williamson looking for Stanway. That's asking a lot, really, the midfielder. But she makes the most of it. Stanway, brilliant work. Will Russo be able to turn? Important challenge in there from Polkinghorne. Had to get that right.
She absolutely had to get that right. You see direct play from Williamson in behind the space of Grant, because they can't access Stanway inside. I think we might see some longer balls to help stretch Australia out.
Here's Morgan getting it out to Kelly. Kelly feeling the presence of Rasso, and that was enough for England to lose the ball. And here's Sam Kerr. You don't want her on the ball if you're England. Kerr getting in across, almost broke to Fowler, and England able to clear.
Again, everything on the counter from Australia. Good organisation once again, and England unable to play the ball beyond the Australian midfield line. Any short pass, you can see all of Australia's front line really quick, especially on the back pressing.
And you feel for whoever's up against Carpenter on that side. She's had a strong start. Hemp already switching with Kelly. Play from Carter.
I mentioned before, I think it's just such a confident start from Australia. Don't fear England.
Yeah, don't, as I said before, don't read too much into that defeat against Scotland. I say they were on a very strong run before then, the Australians, including a victory over Spain. They'll play France in a warm-up match ahead of the World Cup as well in Australia.
I think there's no question, when they've got everybody fully fit at home, they will be a very difficult team to play against.
And say it again. Yes, here's Hemp. Flash rain, as you might call it.
I mean, the pitch is perfect. I mean, the weather. I think one thing I'd like to see a little more of from England is some of Williamson's longer range switches. Such a narrow pitch. I think it's been too easy for Australia to defend. That's one thing Leah can do for this side. I think with no Greenwood, no Bright, they don't have players other than Williamson from the deepest spaces that can switch the play.
Well, Might be a problem here for Lauren Hemp. As I mentioned before, she took a blow to the face against Brazil, and that's why she's got the protective mask. And she may not be able to continue here. Just an early shout, not confirmed as yet. She's getting checked. And of course, Alex Greenwood had to leave the camp. Sort of concussion issue after the game, unable to be part of this. And still being looked at the moment, Lauren Hemp. And Lauren James warming up. And it looks like Lauren James is going to have to come on here. Lauren Hemp will be coming back on the pitch. And if in doubt, always the right thing to do.
That's such a shame. Just coming into the game down this right-hand side.
So England keeping the ball for now until Lauren James is ready. She is stripped and ready to come on. So when that ball goes out of play, England will be able to make their change. And this is the way, unfortunate for Lauren Hemp. The health comes first. Here's Walsh. Carter. And Kelly. And in a bit of an awkward position here, being a player light. Here's Stanway. Now Russo. Walsh and Carter. Australia holding their shape. Toon. What do you do if you're England in this sort of position? They want to get their player on.
We'll have to keep playing. We've got control of the game. They've got control of the ball.
Williamson. And Bronze. Looks like they're caught in two minds at the moment. Here's Morgan. And Walsh, who had a quick glance to the bench. Yes, Lauren James is ready. Not looking particularly warm, it has to be said. Williamson. And that's for Russo to chase. And then tripped, a free kick to England. The perfect result, really. Perfect chance to get the substitution on. And here comes Lauren James.
Well, sluggish performance, I think, from England so far. Know that James will bring that developing relationship with Bronze on the right-hand side. Grant, I think, been comfortable so far.
Well, popular player, Lauren James. Player that so many supporters love to watch play football. How she's going to fit into this England system in the long term, we will see. But she's on now in place of Lauren Hemp. Looking to spark this game into life for England. Good start from Australia. Stanway to take. Played in by Stanway and Arnold. Good distance on that. Walsh skewed in helping that ball back in. Walsh again. Across once more, trying to win it back. There's Carter. Scrappy in there. England trying to get control. And Carter doing well to keep the ball. It's all a bit tight for England, and they'll do well to emerge from this, and they do.
That certainly woke the crowd up. Nice little battle on the far side. Carter scrapping away into a free kick.
Kelly. Drop of the shoulder, whips a ball in that was dangerous. And just enough from Carpenter.
I think that's the first time we've seen a cross in open play. Like I said, I think it's been too comfortable for Australia. Ball's been kept in front of them most of the time. And because they're so compact between their lines, it's been difficult for England to break their midfield down.
An England side that averages 4 goals a game in the Sarina Wiegman era, although a lot of that is due to those thumping wins over the likes of Luxembourg and Latvia. Kelly. Usually helps your goal average if you win a game 20-0. It's Williamson. Stanway. Williamson again, feeding that ball into Russo, who's on the turn. And here's Kelly. Showing her usual sharpness. Russo! Almost. Almost.
Well, I certainly think Russo's been one player that has impressed with limited service. Whenever it has broke the midfield line, she's linked really well. Gets into a great position. Difficult technique, but confident from her.
So it seems at the moment Russo is the preferred forward for Sarina Wiegman. She's only got one other recognised striker. And I say recognised, only recently recognised by Sarina Wiegman and Rachel Daly. Here's Kerr. Feed that ball forward. Williamson in the right place.
I think when you're playing against teams like this, where they're a lot deeper, very compact, Russo's a perfect forward.
Here she is again to bring others into play. It's it to James, and James using Carter. Carter has to go here. But that was intercepted by Hunt, read it well. This press from England. Difficult for Australia, but Bronze can't get to that. Cooney cross. And Kerr on the move, and Williamson looking over her shoulder. And there's Kerr! That's what she's all about! You give her a sniff and she'll take it. Australia in front, and their star striker with a goal. England caught out at the back. The captain caught out at the back. And Australia with a strong start have a reward for it.
Wow, it's just a lump upfield. But you can see Kerr with VAR might even been offside. Williamson looked in control initially, but just undercooks it with the header. And I knew the minute it fell short, I've seen this 1,000 times. She does it so well. It's easy to say it's an easy finish. Takes one little look at Mary Earps, lifts it over her. World-class finishing.
Goal 63 for her country. The quality of Kerr and the celebration of Gustafsson as well. You do not give her opportunities like that.
It's to experiment the short corner routines.
Well, so far, Australia are repelling everything that England throw at them. And they have a goal as well. Walsh, and there's Kerr. Williamson. Here's Toon. Toon once more. Russo. It's Carpenter. Strong defending again from Carpenter.
Well, Russo again forcing Carpenter into a mistake. It's certainly the brightest spark for England.
But England still looking for a true spark in this game. Carter. And the standout moment, of course, in this match coming from Sam Kerr. Player, of course, you know so well, Emma, in charge of. And you, as you said, you're not surprised by what you've just seen from that goal.
No, not one little bit. That's what I've come to expect. But as far as England are concerned, they've got to clear up some of their untidy play. So many turnovers, so many poor moments, even just from throw-ins, giving the ball away far too cheaply.
Williamson looking to lead the response. And Walsh looking for a runner, picks out Bronze. And Bronze now will try and surge past Grant. But diligent in their defending again as Jalop back there.
Well, they're doubling down, Jalop, Grant on that side of the pitch. Haven't allowed Bronze to get inside or outside in the final third.
Bronze. Kelly. There's another big challenge going in here at the moment. Jalop again. They've hurt herself in the process, but the commitment, the tenacity of this Australian side there to see. Pia Sundhage, the Brazil coach, noted how physical they thought England would be. But Australia have tried to match that, but it might be a bit too much here for Jalop, who's gone in strongly, and she's in a lot of pain here.
Can't see what happened. It's just got caught on her foot.
Well, a player here before she was formerly known as Tamika Butt, a player who's been on the scene for a long, long while for Australia.
Well,
Important player in this side.
She's certainly done her work in front of Grant first half, but I do think it's been too easy. England taken far too long to get the ball into the wide spaces. The pocket spaces are not there for England, and they've got to start pulling Australia apart with quicker exchanges across the pitch.
Well, Jalop looks like she's not going to be able to continue here. This will be a real shame. And Courtney Vine, who's one of those who does play in Australia, looks like she's going to come on, a forward, a winger. They did start the game against Scotland. So Australia, a player down, facing this England corner. England behind here. Stanway sends it in. Now Arnold catches that one. Safe pair of hands. And so far, there's been plenty of standout performances from Australia in this first half. From front to back.
There has. It's been a solid team performance. It's a lot of work for them, but as I've mentioned before, really tight pitch. And the way they've set out has been to be compact in that 4-4-2, allow England to have the ball in the deepest spaces, then look to counter.
Here's Fowler. Walkinghorn. Into Grant. Look at the run into the channel from Gorry as well, the midfielder. And then the touch was just heavy enough there for Charlotte Grant. And they can make that change. And Courtney Vine, who plays for Sydney FC, replaces Tamika Jalop, who's such a popular player in the camp. Yeah, they call Meeks. Stanway. Well, this could be awkward. And Mary Earps hasn't had much to do except pick the ball out of the net. Still doesn't totally feel like England have found their rhythm in this first half. They have actually had 5 efforts on goal, but that's what the statistics say. I don't remember too many of them.
They're not playing with the same intensity we've come to expect to this team. From the deepest places to the highest spaces. Too many passes at times. Not working Australia's wide players enough for me.
Here's Morgan. Urasso has come across to the left-hand side and Vine to the right-hand side. Vine will offer a bit more going the other way for Australia. But right now, they're comfortable.
Well, the best way you have to look at it is Australia have 2 centre midfielders, England have 3, and England haven't made use of that advantage. Stanway, Tall and Toon have to stretch the 2 central midfielders.
seen too much of Toon in this first half. And here's Carter. Out to James to take on Carpenter. And you saw, well, you've seen Carpenter at close quarters, Emma. She's quite the opponent. Outstanding player.
I think in our Champions League game, she was exceptional, especially the second leg.
Lyon defeated by Chelsea on penalties. Bronze sending that ball in towards Russo's offside. Carpenter doesn't know that yet. Even under pressure, though, Australia on the ball have looked progressive.
Well, that's where I've been most surprised. I think they've been calm, composed in the deepest spaces. Really good, comfortable start, particularly for the two centre midfielders. And I think that's where England have to improve.
So what has to be remembered is even though England are on this brilliant unbeaten run, there are nations around the world will be difficult to face come the World Cup. Ball goes out of play, James won't reach that. And of course Sarina Wiegman, you can see she's not happy there. She has got a few sort of issues really defensively in trying to find that settled shape because of the injuries.
I think these are problems you want to have going into the World Cup. You don't want it to be too comfortable. She gets to see different players.
Here is Morgan. Carter. And Walsh. It's desperate to try and find a pass through there. Morgan again. Carter. Now James. Been able to get Lauren James on the ball closer to the Australia goal. And no foul, lost by Stanway and Gorry. And there's Kerr again and Williamson. That time England deal with it. Australia, right now, England maybe won't mind the half-time whistle. Vine, need to get away from Carter, and she's just done just that. The Kerr waits again. Couldn't get it past Morgan. They do look pretty rattled.
It's the sloppiest 45 minutes I've seen from this England team for quite some time. That's perfect. Get to half-time, sure they'll reorganise and they will improve.
So we know England will look to their bench as well. Here's James. 6 substitutions permitted. Williamson, Bronze.
But look how easy it is for Australia to shuffle across the pitch. Short, slow passes. Not having to come out and defend. Really easy for Australia.
Yes, so much credit has to go to this Australian performance in the first half because at the moment they're stifling England. Here's James. She turned the tide, spotted the gap. James! Well, thought it might take one of those sort of moments.
Well, individual brilliance coming into a sea of bodies. She does well to ride the challenge. But it's on the outsides I'd like to see England go.
Yes, if you didn't see earlier, Lauren Hempt forced off with concussion. Sarina Wiegman. Those things will have to change for England to protect their unbeaten record.
That's going to set up a great second half.
Still a couple of minutes to play. Here's Morgan. England have found themselves in that sort of position a few occasions in the first half. But Going direct there, and Arnold out and calm. And a sort of incident there that sums up the first half for Australia.
Certainly, cheeky bit of play from Arnold. She's pleased. Ball run out of the pitch.
Well, they played with confidence, played with composure, have looked organised, and took their chance when it came. He will be delighted. Here's Kelly. The last attack here for England. James chopping back and playing it to Toon. And Toon into Russo, but there's another challenge in there to disrupt the player. There's Fowler that time. And here's Vine. Francis having a go at Carter down that side. Carter. England have time for one more attack, maybe. Williamson. And Bronze. Turning a Stanway. Walsh. Kelly. Oh, that's an inviting ball. And Arnold, we thought that might be the moment she finally makes an error.
Wow, sat behind that. Kelly really caught that. Really well whipped in.
We've talked about tests for so long. England have one right now because Sam Kerr has scored the goal that separates the sides. A fine first half from Australia. What can England do to turn it around in the second half time? England 0, Australia 1.
England trail 1-0 to Australia. Second half coming right up. Your commentary team for this second half. Let's hand you back over to Emma Hayes and Seb Hutchinson.
No changes from either side. And only the third time that England have been behind under Serena Wiegmann. How will they recover from it? The pre to Spain in the Euros quarter-final, with a difference between those games and this one is that they were trailing at half-time, Emma. So what would Serena have been saying to her players?
I think much like the guys downstairs said, they're going to have to move the ball quicker. But in order to move it quicker, players have to move into spaces earlier. They've got to get the ball into areas where they can hurt Australia, particularly use the wide areas.
And already looking for that switch across. Carpenter in the way. And Gorry running into Stanway. You can see out of possession how organised Australia are. The shape that the guys were talking about at half-time. Is stifling England. And James. And now Toon. And back to James, who should be able to turn. And does, and slips it through towards Russo. The Polkinghorne read the danger. Not for the first time in this game. Toon. And Carter. Here's Williamson. Bronze. Again, there's an Australian shirt in the way, green and gold. Mary Fowler that time.
A much better start from England. You can see already they're skipping passes, looking to switch the pitch. Bronze coming back into bodies, little fortunate to get the free kick. But just the start England want.
The position and some way out. Won't bother Georgia Stanway too much. Is she thinking about the shot here? Stanway standing over the ball. Think about this one, England. Stanway to Kelly. And Australia saw the danger.
They had to. otherwise Kelly would have been in. Really good play from Gorry. Read the pass well. Just about gets a foot to it.
England take the corner. There's Polkinghorne again. The wall for Australia at the moment. But England with more urgency. That'll be it. Oh, the flag's gone up in any case.
I think one area England have become so strong under Wiegman is from corners, from set pieces. They've struggled all night. First of all, the delivery has made it difficult, but Australia defended really well.
Ball played forward there by Australia. And here's Mary Fowler. See a few of the players at the moment without their names on the back of their shirts. If you missed the explanation before, well, today's match dedicated to the Alzheimer's Society, and 1 in 3 of the players on each team without the names on their shirt, to draw attention to reality. The 1 in 3 of us born in the UK today will develop dementia.
Well, particularly twice as many women will get dementia too.
It's a high number of people who won't remember so much personal to them. To make it linked to football, they forget the name of their favourite player or memory. Here's Vine, and England have a player down, but Australia looking dangerous. Time for Kerr, and she's prodded it wide. Almost too much time.
Well, first of all, Vine has come into the game and provided so much pace. Started on this left-hand side in the second half, running at the back line, perfectly weighted pass. I think once Kerr had turned back onto her left foot, or should have come back to her left foot, you could see she wasn't comfortable.
I heard Jess Carter say before the game that being a teammate of Sam Kerr means she knows one or two things about what she might do. I don't know about that with Sam Kerr. Always keeps defenders guessing. Even then. Fowler challenged by Stanway.
I can see Rasso come back over on this right-hand side, so we will see more of her and Carpenter this second half. Initially, I thought it was a good start for England, but Australia finding their stride.
Standing over this free kick, Kyra Cooney-Cross, 21-year-old, who's caught the eye in this game. Caught the eye for Australia when she's played. One of those who plays in Sweden. Standout performance from her so far. What she produced here. Perfectly weighted ball. What a pass that was to Kerr. Just got it wrong in the end.
What a pass. Fantastic. Right foot outswing. Kerr just getting on the back shoulder of Lucy Bronze.
Another warning for England. Here's Kelly. This could be a fascinating second half, really. England defending this unbeaten record, but it's not to say Australia won't score again themselves, looking dangerous.
It's the challenge England need. We mentioned at half-time, England not really having the space centrally. Really need to get the likes of Toon and Stanway into the game.
Carpenter stealing a few yards. Kerr can occupy so many defenders. Carpenter. Even when she's on the shoulder of the defender when they got the ball, they look a bit worried. Here's Leah Williamson.
I think we all know England's got the quality to create chances. And it's quite a patient, sluggish performance in the first half, but England will improve. And spaces will appear.
We keep talking about an unbeaten run ending. Remember how long it's been. That's testament to what they've been able to produce over the last couple of years. But losing that ball is Morgan and Fowler, and Vine takes it, try to work it back again. They don't mess around though, Australia, too much. They do win that ball back. And nicely done by Carpenter. Hall. Rooney cross.
I think it's fair to say if Australia were better in the final third this second half, they'd be leading by more than one goal.
But their passing has been pretty good. Zarasso. Kinghorn. The plan has come together nicely today, Gustafsson. But he knows, however well they've played so far, Australia, that England have the quality to turn the game in any moment. Harmony back by Hunt. But Arnold only as far as Stanway. Now James. And James, curve that ball in and almost turn it to our own net by Hunt.
Well, England certainly creating a chance in their own transition. Good pick up from Stanway, and James looking for the run of Russo in behind. And that could have gone anywhere.
Huge sigh of relief for Claire Hunt. Stanway clips that corner in. Australia are able to get it away. No glimpse there for England. Looking to turn this game quickly. Fowler. Carpenter. Rasso. Better pressure from England. Here's Morgan. It's a big challenge from Gorry on Stanway, but they haven't really given those advanced England midfielders much space at all.
It's just been aggressive defending from Australia. Any backward pass, they look to squeeze the pitch. I think for England, if they do get beyond the midfield line and get on the back line, got to engage the back four more.
Here's Toon. He's forced to check back. Rachel Daly comes on here. Be interesting to see who comes off. With England needing a goal. Kelly drives and sends it in towards Russo. And Gorry there. Time to get a head up and try and release Kerr. Morgan. Australia look ready to strike on the counter. England find a way through them. Carter. Here's James. She saw the gap inside Carpenter. Toon quickly closed down by Hunt again.
Starting to get some link up between Toon and James down this left-hand side. You can see Carpenter not comfortable getting tight to Lauren James.
Not many can. Now Hunt just issue with her boot.
I think the only issue with that is every time James gets the ball, she's driving inside. So somebody else has to take the width for the team.
We saw that, didn't we, in the Brazil game? Maybe it's just an area England don't have that option to do that on the left-hand side.
Well, especially if you don't have an attacking left-back.
Here's Walsh. Williamson. Bronze was looking up. Put them straight in towards Russo. Here's Kelly, who's put in some excellent balls into the box so far. Carter with Rasso on her shoulder. And Carter maybe a little fortunate there. Rasso chasing after that one.
But it's a great battle. It really is. England starting to intensify. They're up in their game.
Well, yes, and especially without the assistance of VAR, whether that helps referees or not, who knows. Challenging from Gori. For Sarina Wiegman, she's played her first card in terms of substitution. Too much attacking experience on the bench for England. Australia forced into a change when Yallop went off, but Vine, who's come on, has been direct and quick. Fitted into the system, absolutely fine. And they still lead in this game after an hour. Morgan finding James, who took it well. Tried to reverse it to Russo. Move still alive for England. Kelly! And no problem for Arnold.
England starting to find their forward line a lot better this second half. You can see that Daly has come on almost playing behind Alessia Russo.
She won't be hanging in that sort of position when England do get the ball wide, I would imagine.
I sort of feel like she's gone into exactly the same role as Ella Toon, into the 10 position, which is not really familiar to her.
And England losing the ball, picked up by Gori. She's got options left and right, but went for the shot herself. And Earps can't stop it going behind for a corner. And Gori scored a stunning goal recently against Jamaica for Australia from that sort of range.
I think she's had an excellent game, Gori. And Australia showing what sort of team they are on the counter.
So much has gone right for Australia in this game. And they've made their own luck as well. Thumbs up from the manager. They're going to put pressure on Mary Earps. In a packed 6-yard box. So many shirts in there. Well, Australia playing in there. Didn't quite get that corner right. England able to clear. Carter chasing after this, but so was Fowler. Nice turn from Fowler and Russell. But Rachel Daly's quick in that sort of channel she was defending for England last summer.
Well, that's what Rachel Daly has brought to the crowd. Certainly a lift. Lovely feet from Mary Fowler. Evades the challenge from Carter, and
we know a game is tight and competitive when the managers make many changes, even at this stage of a friendly match.
But I am surprised Wiegman hasn't gone to a 4-4-2. I think the fact that she's put Daly into a midfield position is a little surprising.
So disagreed with that decision. Perceived shove on James. So England in a rare position under Sarina Wiegman, trailing. Now Daly up there with Russo. Walsh. So often England have lost the ball in those sort of areas. Australia have broken quickly and looked dangerous in doing so. Not quite on point, the pass from Kerr to Vine. If anything, they look more of a threat with Vine now on the pitch.
She's so quick, but that last part has been their downfall throughout the game. They've actually got into good areas time and time again, but the last pass hasn't quite been good enough.
To find James in that sort of position, but again, this is playing into Australia's hands, although Gori can't get her pass right. Just feels at the moment the game is set up for Australia to get another goal.
I feel like England are waiting a little. I'm looking how they're building now, and everybody's facing the play. There's no opposite movements. There aren't the same stretching runs we've come to see from England in their play.
This is broken, promising. And Russo. And out it goes to James. Lauren James going on and running into trouble. Australia, the body's back quickly again. Carter. And Walsh. Bronze. Can't find Russo. Bronze. Kelly. Morgan. Carter now. Plenty of time left. Bringing to turn this game around. There was an opening there. Morgan. Serena Wiegmann out of her seat and in the technical area and trying to tell her players to pick up the pace, but at the moment it's Australia doing that. And here's Kerr. And Kerr sending it across, and the header was through, and the goal is there! Grant arriving at the back post, and via a deflection, Australia in full charge. And the joy is clear to see. They lead against the European champions to the Matildas.
And no more than they deserve. They've had a few opportunities this second half. Again, brilliant counter-attacking play. This time, wonderful, wonderful pass down the side of Carter from Rasso. Great run from Kerr. Look at Grant at the back post. Gets herself into a great position. Yes, unfortunate deflection off of Williamson. Yeah, big deflection. But still, 2v2 in that central area. And listen, this is what we've come to expect from Stanway. Combative player, really improved. It was a number 8.
Yes, but up against today, Cooney, Cross and Gorry in that Australia midfield, who've been superb. And often they say you win that midfield.
They really have. Both of them really solid performances in and out of possession. And it has helped that Fowler and Kerr have sat a little lower, protecting them, making it difficult for Walsh to get on the ball.
There's another one of those challenges from Gorry that sort of didn't go. I think she was about to celebrate the challenge. Making it clear to the referee what she thinks. There again, Polkinghorne.
Oh, she's so tight to Russo. They know that Russo's hold-up play is so good.
The balance of this Australia side between Polkinghorne and Hunt, the two centre-halves, 10 years between them. Cooney, Cross and Gorry, 10 years between them. Kerr and Fowler, 10 years between them.
Wow.
Experience and youth paired together, and at the moment working out very nicely.
Australia certainly found their formula going into the World Cup. They've certainly had mixed results the last year.
Yes, at the moment here, winning a 2-0 lead. Here's James. And James whipping a lovely ball in. That wasn't that far away from Daly. Here's Bronze. She sends a decent ball in. Surely this time, no! Headed wide by Daly. That's what they've been waiting for.
That's why you have two players high in those areas. Russo certainly quick to start that, for it to go down the left, and when it's come back out on the right, Daly, the spare player, she'll be so disappointed not to have buried that.
That was almost the moment. Give the crowd something to shout about. Kerr. Nice touch there from Kelly. A challenge coming in from behind from Hunt. Deemed a fair one as well, Fowler. Russell. Carpenter. Everything about this lead for Australia is deserved. Not often England don't score either. Kinghorn. Vine. They're keeping the ball here and moving it well, and Vine almost putting that ball forward, and Williamson mopping up.
It's not even the lack of goals, it's the lack of chances they've created. I'm pretty certain Leah Williamson, Esme Morgan, been on the ball more than anybody else in the game.
Here's James, handball from Grant, and it was spotted in the end.
I wonder if Eagman will go to the bench again to look at other options.
England looking to get on with it, but again, Polkinghorn, another challenger taking the ball off Russo's toes. Absolute rock at the back.
It's been a great battle watching those two play.
Yes, indeed. Polkinghorn, most experienced players on the pitch, full stop. Watching a 56th cap tonight. Daly. Well, at the moment, not England's night, but if they can just find one goal, things can turn quickly. They've been so strong late on in games, but not in the last few. Here's Morgan to Williamson. Walsh now, look for that ball forward towards James. Australia still focused, still resolute in defence. Williamson, England having to work hard to find any sort of space. Let's find its way through to Kelly. She has it now. Hunter, Walsh, Kelly. Shifts it, plays it forward, but he just felt Arnold was going to watch that all the way. And that will give me a chance to mention the football coming up on ITV. The FA Cup semi-final between Manchester City and Championship side Sheffield United on the 22nd of April, 4 p.m. for that one. And then following that match on the same day from La Liga, Real Madrid against Celta Vigo, 7:30 p.m. for that one. ITV4, ITVX. $14,500 in attendance tonight. Brentford GTEC Community Stadium. Premier League side in action, losing to Newcastle United just a couple of days ago. Similar number of people in tonight to watch the Lionesses, but at the moment, not much to shout about. Plenty if you're an Australian supporter. Carpenter. She tries to force her way through. Stanway to James. James turning out of trouble. Carter. Now Kelly. England have had more of the ball. They haven't had some glaring chances. I think the best chance was Daly. Lost by Morgan. And Vine finds Kerr and Fowler, and that was close.
No, she was miles offside. At least from my angle. Release needed to come quicker, but how many times we've seen these square ball pick-offs, and all because they can't get Keira Walsh onto the ball.
England haven't been able to solve the issues tonight as the game has worn on.
But they haven't had enough variety, doing much of the same thing in the second half. Not much has changed.
Carpenter. Brilliant ball, just cut out by Williamson, but England have had to defend like that in this second half. They've chased the game, but without actually posing Australia too many problems. And look for Kelly here, hopeful ball forward, giving possession straight to Australia. Here's Kira Walsh, who's found space hard to come by and hasn't been able to pick her passes tonight. Here's Bronze. And maybe England will have to turn to individual quality. But again, the link-up play not there. That's a loose pass. Here's Carter. What about Australia's fitness in this particular situation? I suppose when you've got a 2-0 lead, you feel plenty of stamina.
It's going to be made to feel easy if Daly's picking the ball up that deep, supplying the passes. You want Daly inside the box.
Which she was before, almost found a goal. Fowler. Of course, they've put so much energy into this game, Australia. Been at it from the first whistle. Still just the one change. And why would you change too many things with how things have been going so far? For Tony Gustafsson. Walsh. She'll look for Daly. Won't reach her. Gory here. Look at that for a turn. Kukuni cross to open things up. Showed so much of what you want from a central midfielder in this game. Daly coming off there, and the link-up play finds Carpenter. And Carpenter with only Kerr up with her. Kerr, and still onto Fowler. And England just getting the tackle in there again. It was Bronze. If anything, England might think they're lucky to be only 2-0 down.
Yep, I think so. But as you've mentioned before, when you're chasing the game, you're going to take different risks. And England's problem has been turning over from the deepest spaces. We can't blame the deeper players because I don't think the movement in front of them has been good enough tonight. I think it's been too easy for Australia. Certainly haven't seen enough runs off of the back shoulders of the back four. Every time I look down, I see Australia's 4 defenders. They're always facing forward. And they're able to intercept on the front foot.
Fowler releasing Kerr.
Unlike Kerr, stretching in behind, pulling England apart.
Now they're keeping the ball, frustrating England and linking up with ease. Brasso, they're not used to being in this sort of position under Sarina Wiegman. In fact, they've never been in this position under Sarina Wiegman.
I think as we've said throughout, it just looks sluggish throughout. I don't know if the game against Brazil at Wembley took a lot out of the players, but it's uncharacteristic of England.
Yes, absolutely. I think Sarina Wiegman may turn to a bench again very shortly. There's Jess Park down there getting instructions. It might be for Jess Carter. That's a very attacking change. Here's James. Here's Russo. And Russo shot blocked. Again, Hunt and Polkinghorne in the way of everything tonight. And then when they have won it, they just break up the field with pace and purpose, but can't get it right. Australia in that midfield. And that's going to be Arnold's all day long. And this is Australia's side who know so many of these England players, who've played against so many of these England players. A man in charge who's used to being part of a coaching group that's won things for the United States. He's got players in this Australia side who play in England and who play in Europe. And they were fired up to face the European champions. And so far they've put on a display here that looks like it's going to end England's unbeaten run.
Oh, absolutely. As I've mentioned before, I think this is uncharacteristic of England. Rarely do we see them looking so sluggish as a team. Used to them creating so many chances.
And Kira Walsh completing passes, but not tonight. Cooney cross, winning a free kick as well. What an imperious performance from her.
The whole team performance really has, but what they've done in midfield, I think, has been the difference.
21 years of age and only just turned 21 as well. Mary Earps hasn't actually had too many saves to make in this game, but there's been a lot of threat on the England goal. Ngori on a diagonal, but there's offside flag up. And Earps now looking to get on with it. Williamson. That second goal for Australia really gave England a mountain to climb, and it's a bit too steep for them at the moment. There isn't much time left. There's Morgan. Williamson. James. Bronze into Park, couldn't quite get that under control. That presents an opportunity for Australia again. Here's England with its attacking shape now, and out it goes to Kelly. Australia still looking organised. There was a late challenge going in there, referee playing advantage, and Kelly back to her feet. And here's Park on the move, and Carpenter won't quite get there. Chance for Russo, but just gave enough of a sniff for Hunt to block again.
I think the combination of that shape change and Park coming into the game has been a difference. I wanted to see Park a lot sooner. I think she's had a stellar season.
Barrasso has booked for that late challenge on Kelly. A late corner here in the 90th minute for England. If they can score this, maybe can make Australia nervous. And look at that, the bodies, too many bodies back, and then Carpenter getting it out of play, calling for focus. See them over the line here. Kelly, and Arnold stretching. Still not clear, and the ball wouldn't run for England there. Will be a corner.
Probably the best part of the second half for England. Deep cross from Chloe Kelly, dealt with by Arnold and kept alive by Lauren James.
Well, just 4 minutes left to play.
Probably the first time Kelly's been able to escape pressure on the inside. Just waiting for the right moment. Looks like a foul to me. Ngori, I'm surprised that wasn't brought back.
Kelly didn't complain too much, especially the state of the game at the moment to added time. But for Serena Wiegmann, a rare low point in what's been quite the run. And Australia, another player down again. Sam Kerr. And hope she's going to be okay. Emma keeping a close eye on Sam Kerr there.
She's fine.
She's put in a fine performance, as per usual. 2 minutes left to play. Kelly. Kelly has put in some decent deliveries. Stanway! Oh, not to be. No chance of Arnold keeping that out of him, been on target.
Oh, this last 10 minutes since the shape change, England have really come alive. Creating chances, look lively to first and second ball moments. And Stanway doing what we've seen so many times from her in and around the penalty box.
Well, it's quite a weird feeling watching England under Serena Wiegman to think that they're going to lose this game. And Australia lose Sam Kerr for the final minutes. She's played her part in what's been a terrific Australian display. And Rasso also coming off as well, who's caused England a fair few problems. And another of those who's playing in the WSL at the moment, Courtney Nevin. Leicester City on loan from Hammarby in Sweden. And the fullback coming on. And Alex Chidiac, who has made an impression off the bench when called upon. Here's Kelly, free kick. So England may end this game in defeat, but they will have one last opportunity here to get themselves on the score sheet at the very least.
Well, they're ending the game as we've come to know and expect this team to do. But it feels a little too late.
She knows it. For so long now, they've been so good, this England side. We've been almost asking for a test, and they've had one tonight. Stanway, can she get the England fans in the stadium tonight? Something to make some noise about right at the end. Stanway, and straight at Arnold, and she was never going to spill that to an England player.
Arnold got behind it well. Greasy ball. It's been raining all night.
But that rain has not affected this Australian side. Well, the unbeaten run ends at 30, and wouldn't it just be Australia to end that run? A fine performance from the Matildas to beat this England side. The goals coming in each half, one from Sam Kerr capitalising on a mistake from Leah Williamson, and in the second half a first Australia goal for Charlotte Grant, and look at the delight again for her. Delight for Australia. Comfortable winners, in all honesty, over an England side. And